Finding factors in multiplication. Factors are the gazinta numbers. They go into. A factor tree is a good way to organize the factors of a number. So if we look at the factors of 120, the first factor is always 1 and 120, the number 1 and itself. This is an even number because it ends in a 0, so we know that 2 times something is a factor, and it's 2 times 60. If we add up 1 plus 2 plus 0, we get 3. So we know that 3 goes into 120, and 3 times 40. 4 is an even number, and it is an even number. If we look at 2, we look across at the 2, we see that the 60 is an even number. If we take half of the 60, we get 30. 2 times 2 is 40, and 30 times 2 is 60. So let's see. Next, 5. We know that 5 goes into it. It's kind of hard to figure that one out, so I'm going to just skip that. But it ends in a 0, so I know 5 goes into it. 6, well, it's got the factors of 2 and 3, so we know by our divisibility rules that 6 has to go into it. So if we look here, when we can say, okay, 3 times 2 is 6, so 20 times 2 is 40. 7 doesn't look good. 8, well, 8 does go into it, again, because we know that 30 is an even number. So if we say 2 times 4 is 8, then 15 times 2 is 30. So that worked out well. 9, well, 1 plus 2 plus 0 is 3. 9 does not go into 3. It's not a factor of 3, so can't be 9. 10, okay, it has to be 10 because it ends in a 0, and so that's a 12. Oh, well, 10 times 12, so I can look here and say 5 times 2 is 10, so 12 times 2 is 24, and I can go back and fill that one in really easily. Now if we look at the factors, so we come to the end because there's really only an 11 in between, so we know that we can stop. Now if we look at the factors of 36, again, 1 times itself, and the number 36. 2, we know 2 goes into it because it's an even number. Again, that's a little awkward, so I'm going to skip that one. 3 goes into it because 3 and 6 add up to 9, and that's a multiple of 3. 3 goes into 1 once, 3 goes in, so that's a 12, so that's an easy one. 4, I know that my 4 times 9, because 3 plus 6 is 9, so I know that that one works too. 6, I should know that 6 times 6 works, and 2, since it's a factor of 2 and 3, then we know that there also has to be the factor of 6. So now if we look back here, we can say, 2 times 2 is 4, so 9 times 2 is 18, and we can fill in that factor. Now what we want to do is circle all the numbers that are the same on both lists, and those are called common factors. They're factors that you can find, in both columns. So not the 5, the 6, and not the 8, 12. And no 18 or 36 over here. So if we end up, we can find that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 common factors. And the greatest common factor, GCF, greatest common factor, is 12, because that's the largest number that gazinta both numbers.